Alright, hello again. This is Freedom Will Not Die. Now today, I wanted to talk about censorship, and specifically the idea of innocent until proven guilty. Something that far too many people seem to ignore or forget about. So, let's get started. So there's been a significant amount of people, let's just say, social justice warriors I'm talking about, that believe that it's a great idea to just listen and believe. Now, we've seen this with people like Anita Sarkeesian, we already know that, but recently there's this whole thing about, what is his name, James Dean or something, some porn guy, who was apparently a rapist. I don't know if that's true or not. But it's irrelevant because people believed he was, regardless, because there's no evidence that has been put to light yet. But it's this whole idea within the social justice community and feminists and all these regressive nonsense makers. They believe in what people say without thinking about it, without seeing the evidence that you need to have in order to convict someone of a crime. Especially a crime like this. Like, rape is a pretty serious crime in the modern world, people. People actually take that crime seriously. I'm talking to you, feminists. They actually take rape very seriously. And anyone who doesn't probably lives in the Middle East. Just saying. But yeah, here in the Western world, we take it pretty seriously. Especially the cops. So if you're actually raped, I'm sorry, very sorry, go to the police, bring your proof, and then you've got a case. And you will probably win if it's true. It's very unlikely that you won't win. But this porn actress, well, she didn't think about that when she decided to blame James Dean for what he's done, or allegedly done. I highly doubt he did anything that wasn't consensual, but I don't know. But yeah, she just, she just went to Twitter. It's like, hey guys, I had sex with him and I said my no word. And we continued anyway. So I was like, oh my god, I'm being raped. Alright, honey. First off, if that's true, that's a bad thing. And I believe that would be rape if it were true. But first off, why the hell did you not tell people right away? Like, all these rape cases that apparently happen are always months or even years later. They just bring them up years later. And, I can understand that if you're like a child. You don't want to talk about these awful things that happen to you. But if you're a fully grown adult that isn't being threatened with your life every day, then why the hell can't you just go to the police? Why the hell can't you just get something? Just anything, just get them. Get the rapist so he doesn't rape again. But no. Because here's the truth. They don't have evidence of it being rape. More than likely, it was consensual at the time, but they want to make bank. They want to make some money. And that's what all these are. Not all of them, not all, but a significant enough amount is completely just for the money that I need to stand up for this nonsense. If you get raped, tell the police immediately. Don't wait, alright? If you actually get raped, and you can do it, and you can get to them as quickly as possible, they can use DNA analysis on you and see who actually fucking raped you, and then you have very solid evidence for who did it. Unless they're a twin, and they have a twin that you're accusing that is the one who didn't do it, then you most likely have a case. And even then, you'll figure it out eventually, I'm sure. the police department isn't completely incompetent or anything. I think the police are actually usually pretty good at their job. And if they aren't, well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, maybe you have to go to a bigger court or something. But, look, if you get raped, do it immediately. Just call the police immediately as soon as you can. Because you're not dead yet. And you have a legitimate grievance with that person. But if you wait this long to just make up some random nonsense on Twitter and then get some guy fired for it, then I'm going to have a significant problem with you. Because, first off, fuck you, and fuck everything you stand for. You are probably a lying cunt. Probably are. I can't prove that you're a lying cunt yet, but we'll figure out soon enough, lady. And you'll probably even confess some point, be like, well, you know, I actually said yes, and I was a little uncomfortable, and I thought he'd understand, but he didn't, so I just kind of laid there, and just let it happen. You know, there's probably something like that is going to happen eventually, but, I mean, Mr. Dean has already been fired, and is already under heavy attack from people. Now, I don't actually know who James Dean is, really. I mean, I know he's a porn star now, but before I had no idea who he was. But, you know, if he wants to be a porn star, if he wants to fuck chicks for a living, let him. Let him. And if you have a problem with it, then why are you a fucking porn star in the first place? And if he was actually raping you, which I highly doubt it, but if he actually was, then go to the police and not to fucking Twitter. Just why? God, everything is about Twitter nowadays. I don't give a shit about fucking Twitter. Jesus Christ, but everyone seems to just love Twitter. And that's where the beautiful lynch mob of SJWs lives. It's the fucking Twitterverse, but God, they just bring it to Twitter because, you know, they know that they don't have a case. But they can definitely use the very powerful and currently incredibly misused, you know, social ostracism. That is a very powerful tool to be used on people. Because, well, if you're ostracized from society, then, well, you might die, even, you know, if you don't get any food, you don't get any electricity, any shelter, you could die if you were actually horribly socially ostracized. But in James Dean's case, I doubt he's going to starve, but he's definitely going to, he already lost his job, we know that, but he might lose more, and his future employment opportunities look pretty grim, to say the least. And it's all because of this concept of that people seem to have completely forgotten. Innocent until proven guilty. That is the most important thing in our judicial system, in the rule of law of the U.S., of any Western country. Innocent until proven guilty. Not guilty until proven innocent, because, first off, proving innocence is far harder than proving guilt. Because when you're guilty of something, especially something like a rape or a murder, there's usually ways that the police and other law enforcement agencies can figure out that you did an awful thing. Like, wow, hey, this is your sperm on the body of your dead girlfriend that you shot in the head with the gun that you bought. Oh, that's evidence, right? Yeah, that's evidence. See? That's proving his guilt of this random guy I just made up. But you see, if just some random girl off the street who, you know, you have a one-night stand with her or something, and this guy does, and then she comes up later and says she was raped by him, and he has to prove his innocence. The only way he could do that was if he filmed the whole goddamn thing. And that's actually something a lot of guys do nowadays. They just film every single sexual encounter. And in some ways it's for kink, but the most important way is so that they can prove their goddamn innocence if this woman turns out to be fucking crazy. And there seems to be quite a lot of crazy women in the modern world. Oh god, I don't know what to do about it, honestly. I just say fuck them. I'll never talk to them in any significant amount of time. I don't want to be with them. I don't want to be around them. I don't want to hear their sniveling little voices. I just avoid them at all costs. And it seems to work pretty well. It's not perfect, but it's something I tend to do. But yeah, these worthless harpies, they just, they don't understand that concept. They just don't get it. And I don't understand why. What is so hard about seeing that people could be guilty, but we should assume that they're not, compared to just assuming everyone's guilty and having to prove that they're not? That is just simple. That is very simple. Assume their innocence. Assume their innocence. That's all you have to do. And you can maybe think that they did it, but you won't say that they did explicitly, right? So if you think somebody murdered someone, but you don't have any proof for it, then you can say, well, I think he did, right? And that's okay. You can say I think all you fucking want. But if you say he's guilty and he should be fired, and he's a horrible person, and he's an obvious rapist, and you should believe whatever a fucking woman says, then you are part of the problem. You are part of the fucking problem, you worthless regressive cunt. I don't understand why you exist. What is wrong with your fucking brain? And just, how can you not see, if you were in that position, how unfair it would be? Do you have no empathy for other people? Do you not understand what would happen to you in that position if you were a man? If you were James Dean? Let's just say you and him switched bodies. That just happens now. What would happen to you? You think they're going to believe that you've become a woman? Maybe they will. Maybe they'll think you turned transgender, but they're still going to hate you till the day you die. Because that's how SJWs work. Because even people who are trans or gay or black or a woman will be cast out by these monsters if they don't believe in the narrative. That is how it works. They have their little narrative agenda. They have what they want to believe. And if you don't believe what they want you to believe, no matter who you are, you will be forced out. They'll call you a house nigger, or they'll call you, an internalized misogynist, or something like that. And you'll be cast out from the SJW brigade. And you know what? Us over here, the people who don't want this SJW nonsense to be around any longer, we'll accept you. We will accept you. At the moment, it's probably quite a lot of white men that are on this side, myself included. But we would be more than happy to have you on our side. Because, look, being a functional human being with good values is not something we base on what you do in your bedroom. It's not something you look like. It's not the genitalia you were born with. Everything that matters is your ideas. Alright? What you think and what you believe. Okay? Not what other people think, not what other people believe, and not how much you should pander to other people, but what you believe. That is what's important to us. That is what is important to the people who actually want to fight for true human equality and at least some kind of happiness in this world of crazy. If you just have the right ideas, if you understand that it doesn't matter what you are, it matters who you are. Just think of Martin Luther King. Okay? Not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream. Okay? I have a dream. That's all you have to think about to know if you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing here. And when you're presuming that someone's guilty because they're a white man, like in the case of James Dean here, you think he's a rapist because he's a white male who had heterosexual sex with a woman, a white woman. And you think, oh, well, all men are rapists, especially white men, so he's guilty. But just imagine if that were a woman, what would you think? And that's the problem right there. That is the problem. If you thought every single person on the planet was a rapist, you were like, well, I'll treat everyone equally, you're all rapists, then you're still wrong. You're still a fucking idiot, but at least you're logically consistent with your beliefs. But when you're a feminist, when you're an SJW, when you're a regressive, worthless pig from the Animal Farm universe, you think that men are evil and women aren't, but we're equal. That's what you think. You think, oh, men and women are equal. That's what the dictionary definition is of feminism. But men are rapists and misogynists and evil, and I hate men, and I want them all to die, and I would love to imagine a world where all men were killed except for a few who I got to fuck every now and then. With all the other women, we got to use them as slaves. That's my kind of world. I like that. If you think like that, then you are wrong. You're part of the problem. And you are just like the pigs in Animal Farm. Every animal is equal, but the pigs are more equal. Oh, God. Well, thanks for letting me rant here. And, thanks everyone for coming. And remember, as long as we stand up, as long as we fight this kind of nonsense, these horrible ideas that want to destroy everything we care about and what we hold dear in our hearts and souls, if we continue to fight, then freedom will never die. Freedom will not die. Thank you.